Good morning, everybody. Melissa here. Hey, do rich men prefer their wives to work and bring in the bread with them, or do they prefer their wives to stay home? This is a good question. I watched a video on this. For the most part, if you guess this, yes, you're right. Rich men want their wives to stay home. Um, Watching a video, most of them have said, yes, I want her to stay home, take care of the kids, take care of the home, make sure everything is in good order. And this helps a man be more masculine. His masculinity is to be earned, right? So if he knows everything's all set at home, this helps him usually do better in the workplace, right? And a woman's femininity needs to be protected and nurtured and cared for. So today I had called in at work just because I'm feeling under the weather a bit. And this happens sometimes, colds go around and you get worn out. And usually I do not call in. I'm not I'm usually someone who goes to work, but my health is priority. So I had called in, and then my son wants to go out for breakfast, take me out for breakfast this morning. So we're doing that. So even when a woman stays home, which is a huge sacrifice, it is huge. It's the hardest job you'll ever have. She usually finds something to do later on once the kids have grown. So for me, and a lot of men have said this, I'm lucky my wife is educated. She went out and she got her education, which I did. I graduated early from high school. I went to college, tried that, got an education, only there for about a year. And then I went to hairdressing school and graduated. And this was while I was pregnant with my firstborn son. I got pregnant with him at the end of when I was going to graduate. So I was almost done hairdressing school when I was pregnant. And I had a couple girls ask me, have you ever bleached your hair? And I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely did. And I actually was in hairdressing school. So, so I actually, like a lot of women, once they have their babies, they go out, they get their education. Once they have their babies, they stay home or they do something part-time. Mine was being a teacher. So a lot of men have felt like, well, if my wife, it depends what she wants to do for work. If she wants to be a teacher, I'm okay with that, or a nurse. It depends. It depends how much stress she's going to have. If she's out there working a lot and bringing stress in, I'd rather not deal with the stress. And I think a lot of men want that, right? They just don't want the stress. They want the peace. So if he's making enough money that you can stay home, that is the ideal situation. But if you have a husband who isn't making a lot of money and you need to work, that's a whole nother ball game, right? But usually it's the man who's making the money. So a lot of men also felt like, once the kids are gone, if she has an activity, that's great. If she's just staying home and she's not, some men have felt like if she's staying home and she's not really taking care of the kids, like I've heard of some women who will not change a diaper for their kids. That's kind of ridiculous. And I think rather than saying, yeah, go out and work because you're really not doing anything, I think it's no, let's talk about this, and this needs to be done and this. But most women want to stay home with their kids. It goes by really fast. It's super short. Then you can go out into the workforce and work even more. So when mine were, I always had something going on. I love education. I've always educated myself. I've taught. I'm a teacher. I've done waitressing, so huge people skills, sales, customer service. I will be updating my resume. I've done a lot of different things. And then when my kids were older, when we had a house on the lake or a pond, people called it both, we had a 3-bedroom, and because of that, I needed to work more. And so if a woman's working a lot and she doesn't see her husband really wanting to really be motivated to work, her if she's making more, that can be a problem if she's more motivated than him. So, for the most part, men are like, yeah, go ahead and, stay home. I will be motivated even more by you staying home and making that sacrifice, and then go back out and go ahead and do what you want to do now, as long as you're taking care of me. Most men are happy if they have food on the table. They're pretty simple. If you cook, which I did for years, food on the table, take care of the kids, take care of him, it usually works pretty well. And then later on, you can take all those skills that you had learned from, all the different things you've done and put them to use.